I am so tired. And I started realizing that I have been tired for a while. I think my insomnia is finally starting to catch up to me. Yesterday was particularly hard. I just, my eyes are so heavy and it's so hard to get stuff done. I think that's why I've been dragging. That's why it's been really hard to just get stuff done. I'm going to drink a little coffee, see if that helps. It didn't really help me wake up yesterday, but I'm gonna have a little bit more caffeine and then get going on. I'm looking around right now because I'm at my desk and I need to clean up all of the things on my computer desk so that I can take it apart and put in the new desk. So that's one of my big goals today is I may need to get another box. I'm looking at just like all the stuff that I've had piled up here and it's just, I mean, it's out of control. There's a lot of things that I can just downsize and just get rid of that I don't need. And so I think it's time to purge a lot of stuff. I am pretty excited to slice into this and see how it turned out. Ooh. Okay, that wasn't my best. But look at that. Okay, let's get a nice slice for toast here. Like not too thick, not too thin. It may have been a little, I don't know, that seems like bread slice, right? Look at the crumb. Oh, it's so soft. I am happy with that. I am really, really happy. For some reason, it took forever to proof. It was not rising above the pan like it was supposed to last night. And I actually didn't get it into the oven until like 8 p.m. So it took twice the amount of time to proof than it said for the second proof. I actually ended up putting it in my air fryer in the proof setting at a nice like 95 degrees to get it to cooperate. So I'm not really sure. I was expecting it to not have turned out all that great, but it seems like it did really well. So I'm going to toast some up and I think I'm going to make a second loaf today. The one loaf takes half a stick of butter and I'd like to just use up the other stick of butter while it's room temperature and I can get this baked up and then in the freezer for later. That and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my short ribs today. If I want to put some sort of rub on them or if I want to put a marinade. So I'm going to figure that out so I can get those things started. Look at how beautiful that looks with my homemade jam. Official taste test. That has a wonderful mouthfeel. It is fluffy. It is delicious. That jam is perfect. This is going to be an amazing breakfast. I am really, really happy with that. I found a Korean short rib marinade recipe and I love Korean short ribs and I don't know if my husband is too keen on doing that with the short ribs, but I don't care. That's what I want and I have time to do something with it. So I just put those in the marinade and I'm going to let them sit probably for about 24 hours because I don't think there's enough time. Yeah, I mean, it would be like only a few hours of marination and I want them to marinate longer than that. So I'm going to let them sit overnight. And what I did do was find some, it's all frosted over now. I made this chunky vegetable ragu a while back and put the leftovers in the freezer. And I think that I am going to thaw that out. And I also grabbed a pack of frozen turkey. And I'm just going to make like a really nice, chunky meat sauce for some pasta tonight. That'll make a fairly easy dinner. So I'm going to let that stuff thaw and then we'll do the short ribs and probably some rice and broccoli tomorrow. I grabbed one of the stocks that I froze. I'm already going to use it. I'm going to use it for that carrot soup. I might make that tomorrow. I might make it the next day. I'm not entirely sure, but I at least wanted to get it in the fridge so that it was not frozen anymore because that will stop me from making it. So I have got dinner for the week, for the rest of the week covered. I will probably go to the store at some point, probably this weekend, because I'm out of flour. I finally went through my 25-pound bag of flour from Costco and I need a new one. Otherwise, I won't have enough flour to make the cookies for the baby shower, and I'm making those next week. So lots planned. I'm going to clean up. Everything is just a huge mess. I still have these suckers that I need to do something with. I was looking at some options and recipes a few minutes ago, so maybe I'll hopefully get around to that. But I've got stuff all over the place because of all of the baking and cooking and prepping I've been doing. I'm pretty sure that my yeast, I know that my yeast is old. It's working fine. It made successful bread, but I think that's why it is taking longer to proof. And so I've just been waiting on this second loaf of sandwich bread to proof in my air fryer. Thankfully, it has a proof setting that has made it very, very helpful because it gets it nice and warm. Hello, welcome back in the house, buddy. What were you doing out there? Looking for bunnies, he says. You don't like the smell of my garlic fingers? Okay, I gotta clean stuff up. Well, yesterday I got a lot of stuff done and I didn't end up filming any of it because my husband was working from home and I was working mostly in our computer room where he was working, and it was already tight enough spaces, and then I just didn't want to film, right behind him while he was doing stuff either. So I just plugged along yesterday at trying to get this room a little bit more under control and setting up my new desk, because I have a sit-stand desk that I got partially because I'd like the ability to stand, but mostly because my desk was too tall and it was a monstrosity of a thing. If you saw it, had a big hutch on it. And although it had a lot of storage, it just really wasn't fitting the space the way that I wanted anymore. I'm trying to sort of simplify and downsize. I have like 3 boxes of stuff that came off of that desk, which is insane. So I'm going to pare things down and simplify this space. So here is where we're at. Much simpler. I didn't realize we had all these holes in the wall because we pretty much immediately covered them up with the big hutch as soon as we moved in. So I've got all this stuff that needs to be filled in, or at the very least covered. I've got plenty of things that can go on the wall. And I had to move all of my nail polish. This really made me aware of just how much I have. So I think I'm good on the nail polish for quite a while. And I know every time I say that, I end up buying another one. But so I'm feeling really good about this space. I have things still piled up in the corner over here, so I still have some work to do. But the main goal was to get that desk put together and set up. So that's a lot more comfortable and a lot easier for any of the computer work that I'm doing. Here are the pieces of the old desk and all these things that came off of different shelves in there. It's just so much stuff. And I don't need that much stuff. I don't. And so many of that are like pens from swag that I've gotten at work over the years, or things that we've picked up while traveling, sticky notes and things that I've had literally since college. I need to get rid of it. So I definitely am going to, but I don't want to shift all of my focus onto that because I still need to get the kitchen done. The other big update is that I weighed myself this morning because I realized it was Friday and I still hadn't really, and I was down 0.5 pound. So that was super surprising because I have not been trying. I haven't been paying attention. I'm going to take that as a sign of continuing to plug forward and ride that lucky wave. I looked at some recipes this morning and put together a shopping list for this weekend of healthy, vegetable-filled end of summer meals. And I really want to get back to my regular morning routine. I've given it a lot of thought in terms of the way that I tend to behave, the way that I'm behaving right now, you know, my anxiety, all the things going on. I think that taking this medication and slowly getting used to it has changed the way that I am approaching things and my motivation, and not necessarily in a bad way. I was looking at it as, oh, this is a bad thing. I'm less motivated. I'm feeling lazy is the way that I was looking at it. And I have started to really think and come to a conclusion that maybe it's just more that I'm not overdoing it. My anxiety levels before made me feel like I had to be productive. I had to be a certain level of productive, especially after quitting my job. I think I felt a lot of guilt and felt like if I wasn't working really hard at stuff every single day and making a huge impact in my surroundings, that I didn't deserve to have quit my job and move forward with things. You know, I didn't quit so that I could laze around the house or, you know, be a trad wife or something. But I do think that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to do a lot and to accomplish a lot to stave off some of those feelings of guilt. And I think the medication has helped me not feel that way so far. I do feel like I have less anxiety overall about getting certain things done or certain timelines or operating at a certain level. And I think I'm just trying to get used to that because I literally have not operated any other way. I don't know a life outside of that high functioning type A anxious behavior. Because as you may have noticed, and I certainly started noticing when I was going through all of my footage, it doesn't really matter how productive I am, and it doesn't really matter what I do. I always seem to have this level of I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. I could have really, really productive days, but if I didn't get to one or two of the things that I thought I might get to, I would be down on myself. And so I think that underlying anxiety is being treated right now, and it's allowing me to be a normal, functioning adult. I think that that's what's going on. I think that that is, you know, how I'm handling things right now. And I am feeling better, and I am getting a lot of stuff done, and I will get the kitchen done. Anyway, this ended up being a lot more talking at my camera than I was expecting, but I need to go out and check those plums because that's something that I have been dragging my feet on, and I need to go pick plums before it's too late. So let's go check out the trees. Parker is ready to show me. Are you ready to show me the plums? Show me the plums. Let's go. Show me. Yeah, it's a little overgrown. One thing at a time. That's a heavy branch. Yep, I knew it. We've got several sneaky buggers trying to fall off the tree, so I gotta come out here. Oh, these are wonderfully ripe. They probably would have been good last weekend, but we'll get as many as we can. Well, it looks like I missed out on the last of the figs, which is what I was sort of expecting would happen. I didn't get out there quick enough, and most of them I don't think are going to ripen. They're just those little green ones. There's one nice looking apple right here, just looking at me. Oh, there's more than one. That one. I thought that we got all of them. But that is a really nice big apple. Holy cow, that's a beautiful apple. Well, I'm gonna grab that, I guess. But I came over to take a look at the walnuts. So I gotta watch these real close so I don't miss out. Because I know that the squirrel's gonna fight me. And there should be plenty for both of us, but they're not ready yet. Let's see if I can get a good glimpse of one of them. So these ones are definitely not ready. I have a few down here that are starting. They're starting to kind of rot a little. I don't want to say rot, but that's what they do, right? They kind of rot and shrivel up, and then the walnut pokes out and you can see the shell inside when the husk is ready. So some of these are starting to look that way, but they're very hard still and they haven't cracked open. So we still have some time, but these are gonna have probably at least a couple more weeks, if not more. I'm thinking maybe not until October. But here is what I got for the plums, and as suspected, this is half of one tree, and we have several trees. So I'm gonna have to go out and grab a bunch more of these bowls and find something to do with them. And part two is that I have to take the jam that I've already made and I have to put them in jars. So I bought little 4-ounce jars. Actually, let me show you. I have gone ahead and washed a whole bunch of them. They're ready to go. And now I need to take the things that I already made and divvy those up. And get those at least in the freezer if I'm not going to properly can everything. Flattering angle while I grab everything from my fridge. So let's get on that. We've got about 45 minutes until my husband comes home, and I think that's a perfect amount of time. Oh, but I just realized that I need to make soup for dinner. I think I should do that. I better look at that recipe, see how long it takes. It's okay. I can do both. I'm going to do both.